Welcome back, guys, to the OPL. We just had a grueling set between Hellions and Trident. In the end, Hellions were able to get up 2-1, but it was a pretty bloody affair in the end. However, during the whole broadcast, for some reason, we've had a Twitter conversation running. It is meme my face with a beard. Throw some paint on there. Tweet it at #IamOPL. You might win a good skin package.
There has definitely been a whole lot of incredible applicants right now, though. So make sure if you're going to do it, that it's good. Because, man, the competition is high.
The problem is, I don't like the beard. So I
Meme
just don't know how it's going to work. But, guys, we do have another best of 3 coming up. It is going to be Avant-Garde taking on the Chiefs. On your blue side for Game 1, it will be AV. Their top laner is Malaz. Chelby in the jungle, Erect. Their mid laner, Destiny and Blind Turkey. Round out this roster. Avant was a roster that was put together very late in the offseason, and no one really had that many expectations of it. I just want to get your guys' quick opinion. You know, you've seen them on Summoner's Rift a couple of times now. What are we making of this new AV team?
A bit up and down. I mean, they dropped a series to Infernum, but I don't think that overall that they've looked that bad. I think there is potential there. I think we're just kind of waiting for them to settle in.
I think they're just super unpredictable, both positively and negatively. No one was expecting Destiny to be able to fit into the AD carry role so incredibly effectively. I had no idea he knew how to farm that well. This guy's a support main predominantly, and he's ahead 40 CS of the clock most of the time. Ridiculous stuff. And Malaz, he's had a whole lot of, I guess, player support saying that this guy is a very, very strong top laner, but we haven't really seen him come out of his shell just yet. There's a whole lot of question marks around this team, and they've sort of performed that way as well, where you sort of expect them to do well, or expect them to do badly, and they do the opposite.
Well, they're going to have to do well tonight because they are going up against defending champions, the Chiefs. As we bring the lineup up, Swiper in the top lane, Spooks their jungler, Cheese in the mid lane, Radier and Ejim round out their bottom lane. Chiefs fell for the first time in just under a year in the Oceanic scene, dropping their first set against the Direwolves. Carvin, got to ask you straight off the bat. Is this the collapse of the Empire? Are people running, screaming through the streets because
have you had more fans come in now?
The Gauls have come to sack Rome. No, look, I don't know really. I mean, we do know that they went for a panic boot camp immediately after that Direwolves game. So, you know, if I was a Chiefs, I wouldn't be that worried, but they clearly are.
That was a little bit strange because we saw on social media that Swiper especially was like giving Direwolves a lot of credit, you know, just business as usual. Next thing you know, they all are up in Sydney. Swiper was answering the desk that, you know, they're not in panic stations, but they certainly are looking at how the team structure is happening.
I mean, their actions definitely suggest it. Yeah, look, I don't think they need to be panicked. Direwolves are good. Chiefs are still settling into the new roster, but there's clearly some fire alarms going off over there.
Yeah, I think so too. The issue that I'm seeing right now, though, is more about the fact that these two teams, we're talking about Direwolves versus the Chiefs, I just feel like Direwolves are set up quite well at the moment to take advantage of what is a weakness on the Chiefs at the moment, is the fact that Cheese has only recently stepped in, and they've got Fantix in the mid lane. This guy is an absolute monster. We've been singing his praises week after week throughout 2015, 2016 now as well. And finally, he's just come onto the Rift and dominated people. His Cassidy gets through a draft, and he goes completely to town on this team. And the Chiefs just looked like they weren't expecting a game number 3. So I have a feeling that's not going to happen again. And this may actually be the wake-up call the team needs.
So I guess that's my question to you. There seems to be some mismatch of synergy between Spooks and Cheese that we don't necessarily expect out of the Chiefs. Is what Direwolves put together with Fantix and Sybil something that AV can easily replicate with Chelby, with Rekt on their lineup?
No, I don't really think so. Rekt is actually super underrepresented in terms of his total team's damage. He does less damage than Malaz, and Malaz is tank only, well not tank only, but has played mainly tank so far. On top of that, he's actually the lowest damage mid laner in the entire OPL. And that is below teams who haven't even won games yet. So, look, Rekt is mainly an assassin player, but I think either he has to step up huge this game or he has to play utility and allow someone else to carry.
Yeah, and I think the ridiculous thing is as well is that Rekt often gets ahead in lane. So often he's able to grab himself a couple of kills. I'm thinking back to his LeBlanc game where he spent a lot of it at 2-0-1. This guy was able to create the lead that he needs, but unable to translate that into late-game damage and late-game pressure. I wanted to see the Mimic distortions in the middle of teams, but he just wasn't quite getting there. So this might be him having some teething issues at the moment, but we'll have to see whether he can translate, because you're exactly right. If he can't manage to get the damage, then just play utility.
And, I've asked every single person that's come onto the desk. I've heard that Malaz is a carry top laner.
Yes.
I've heard that Rekt is an assassin player. I've heard from Sybil that Destiny can single-handedly carry games. I've watched Chelby beat your team at summer finals almost single-handedly.
Oh, come on. Ease up.
There are so many, but there are so many carries on this team. Who is going to step up for them?
Look, I don't know. I think I agree in some extent, maybe not on the summer one, but look, they have the potential. They have good players, but for whatever reason, it's not working. And yes, Rekt is an assassin player, but he's not actually doing damage. So why is he playing assassins? Yes, Malaz is a good player. He is doing damage on tanks. Unlock him. Let him play Cassiopeia. I would honestly love to see that at this point.
Yeah, I want to see that as well. And I also want to see Chelby focusing the top lane, because then you've got Malaz, who really wants to be able to get ahead. Chelby there, who just loves killing Swiper for some reason. So I want to see Chelby try and impact the top lane, which is where Chiefs have been sending a lot of their pressure as well.
I think on that note as well, Chiefs have been significantly more top-focused this year, especially with Swiffer standing down.
Yeah.
Or going on holiday, rather. And we are asking, can Malaz carry? Well, if this is if this is any game for him to carry, I think he needs to do it.
Certainly is going to be. Swiper was very outspoken of how good he thought it was. Want to get your predictions fairly quickly on this one. In the semi-finals, Avant weren't able to take a game, but they got awfully close. Can they make an upset happen tonight?
Man, I know exactly what you're talking about. The ridiculous damage Nidalee coming out of Chelby was unbelievable, but I don't know whether it'll be able to happen this time around. I think Chiefs have still got this.
Look, I think they'll come back strong from their loss. They boot camped. This is a good chance for them to get some confidence back. 2 losses in a row will really hurt them. That said, I do think that AV could possibly take a game. I'm still inclined to say 2-0 Chiefs.
There you go. That's what we've had from our analysts. We still want to hear from you guys at home. Use that hashtag IamOPL. Let me know who is going to win this series. Until then, here's Pastry Time and Rusty to get us into game.
Thank you very much. We are going to get started for our second best of 3 of the evening. We saw the Hellions narrowly take out Trident. Oh, yep, I can do it. Trident. Good, thanks, Brain. Trident in our last best of 3. And now we're going to start Chiefs versus Avant. We heard it already, a semi-final rematch. 2 strong teams, perhaps recovering from some recent losses, but should be a great series.
2 strong teams, 2 long-standing organizations in the OPL as well, but with reinvigorated rosters or changes in rosters as well, there's a lot that needs to be considered. Rekt and Cheese, both new mid laners now taking each other on, so a lot of stylistic differences, and as the desk said, it's on Malaz to step up.
Well, we'll see what he gets this time. I'm sure we'll see the Cassio hover, but will we see the Cassio pick? Only Champ Select can let us know here. AV on the blue side for game 1, Chiefs over on the red. Alistar Rise, our first 2 bans, so pretty straightforward so far.
Yeah, the Alistar, something that wasn't even looked at in the last best of 3 series, immediately taken off the board here. Away from Ejim and potentially Turkey, who had a very good Alistar game. Means they want to first pick something in particular.
Yep, there's Lulu banned as well, as Poppy also eats a ban, so she's been pretty popular tonight as far as bans go. Not sure we'll see her at all this evening. There's 20 seconds left for Avant to make their 3rd ban.
Yeah, the Poppy, I mean, taking it away from Blind Turkey is probably going to default to the Thresh if this many support bans are going to be taken away from him. Even the Janna, to an extent, something that's just jumped up in popularity at the moment, is worth considering now also. And every other champion that's being banned besides maybe the Trundle does it, but is a tank to boot.
And Shen actually banned away there, so it did receive some recent changes. Interesting to see AV ban that away as Chiefs now considering their last thing. And that almost feels like a support ban to me. I'm sure Swiper can play it as well, so we'll have to see.
There's been a lot of praises on the new Shen and his damage, especially scaling damage, but his laning phase feels a lot weaker, so there is a chance that it's been taken away from the support role. I don't think so.
Maybe. Jungle
Swiper's
top.
been playing.
Yeah, well that would make sense, of course. So Zed actually the final ban there. Rekt did have some good looking games on the champion, and Zed has been relatively popular around the OPL in recent weeks, so I like this ban away. It just leaves really what the Avantgarde want to play, and most notably, they've left up Gangplank. That's not Gangplank. Neither is that. All right, Mala's having fun.
We're going alphabetical, all right? Just chill out. We're getting there. Yeah, we're in B now. Won't take long till we get there. G's not far away, is it? Corki as well is something that he just did flash over briefly. It's like, oh, there it is. Forgot about that. Has been left open. Destiny's pretty much an only Lucian player, and Janna the other thing to boot, which complements the Lucian quite well. So once he stops counting and going
Yeah.
to the alphabet for us, just lock in what
He
you want.
bounced around a bit,
Yeah.
but let's see what Malaz wants to pick up here. Open champions, I feel like you have pretty much across the board, and it is going to be Corki that they decide to take.
Yeah, I think the thing with that is they are leaving the Gangplank open. They are leaving a lot of options available. The Lulu's not something that needs to be considered, but the Lysandra is definitely still there for cheese.
Yep.
So, may not want to flex that immediately here, because the Gangplank is a must-pick, essentially. But I feel like if the Chiefs can't play it in multiple roles, which is one of the 3 must-do things that Carbon mentioned on the desk, then they're confining their drafting phase to be a lot more obvious.
Potentially. Haven't seen Cheese play it yet, but not too sure on the word how his champion pool goes with that one. But the Chiefs are taking a long time with these first 2 picks. And they're actually going to change it away. Graves and Thresh are their first 2 picks.
It's easy to say that Blind Turkey would default to the Thresh as well once the Alistar is off the board. So they take that away from Turkey. Of course, he could just go back to the Trundle or Janna one more time, but the Engage tool has been taken away from him. A confidence pick as well. So Spooks picks up the Graves to boot with that. And that's a very interesting thing to me, because Spooks isn't the most proactive invade-heavy jungler at the moment. He's just vision control and tries to let the rest of his team work and complements that to kind of help them snowball. Lots of options still available for Chiefs there, and Avant alike.
Yep. I mean, Avant are going to go with Braum, actually, so that's the support Turkey ends up with. Elise still there, and Shelby will take it once again with Graves banned, but seen this matchup quite a bit here, and maybe apart from Carvin shenanigans yesterday in that particular series, I personally think Graves is just fine here.
Graves is just fine, of course. It was even mentioned by Frosker in your ability to clear Spiderlings and actually 1v1 trade against an Elise, especially if she's flashing over your red wall to invade you. I feel like there's a pretty easy option there to trade with her.
Yeah.
But, to each their own. We are into this particular one, so of course Spooks will be perfectly fine is the point that we're making here. That or Carbon's good. I'm not sure which way I was going there.
Oh, you know what? We'll have to find if OC Faker is just that good later on. But I do want to see Spooks maybe change things up here. I agree. He hasn't been playing the same invade, pressure-heavy style that he maybe was known for initially. But Spooks does seem to be feeling a little bit better. I'm sure the Chiefs have, done a lot of work in the last few weeks here. So we'll see how he does on the Graves. But Fiora and Callista are the next 2 picks there for the Chiefs.
Yeah, so they pick up the Fiora, and Raider getting Callista is not a big surprise to me. I think that it's one of the champions in the last split we actually had to ban away from Raider because he was just so good on this champion. So picks that one back up for himself. The blind Fiora as well, the other interesting decision. Malaz can pick whatever he would like now, knowing it's going to be a battle-heavy top lane.
I wonder what Malaz has in store here, because again, we've heard about the carries, but we've seen Tanks and Morgana really as the picks that he's shown us so far. Malaz has deep pockets when it comes to champions in the top lane. So knowing his matchup, we'll see where he wants to go. But Rekt is going to have to blind pick as well, don't forget.
Yeah. Rekt will probably pick something not assassin-ish.
Yeah,
I would have to imagine.
just break everything for us.
Yeah.
Although this is not a bad change. Lux the pick up there for the mid lane, but Jack's actually on the top side, so it's still kind of on. It's like the Jack attack spectrum of carries, where it's like more like Trundle Olaf than like Cassiopeia, but it's definitely a bit more towards the carry side.
Yeah, I feel like this is much more what we want to see from Malaz, to say the least. He's going to be fighting the heck out of Fiora at the moment. And there is this really interesting mind game in that 1v1 top lane, because you can counter-strike and you can either instantly stun or you can prolong it as long as possible and actually force the riposte. There is a big mind game in that 1v1 trade, and it could go either way.
Well, tough to play against a player like Swiper, but we'll see if Malaz can get it done here on Jax this time around. He's going to make his first OPL appearance. But the Chiefs do have a mid lane to pick by the looks of things. Chee's going to get pretty much whatever he wants here up against the Lux. Can't imagine he's too upset with the matchups.
Go Swain.
Don't go Swain. Atlas can't handle that. Well, it's not Swain this time. It's going to be Ari there instead. So relatively standard stuff. We'll take the safe matchup.
Yeah, Ari's also good because you can go Abyssal Scepter pretty much immediately on it and be perfectly fine.
I'm seeing a trend.
Ari, very forgiving, and yes, the trend might just be Abyssal Scepter. Who'd have thought?
Good against Lux.
Yeah, pretty good. Magic resistance stop you from dying.
Yep, sounds like a plan. As Cheese currently has teleport, actually. We'll see if he sticks with that particular summoner spell. But I feel like looking down, kind of what we expected from both teams. I think big question to me is Malaz. How's he going to do on the Jax? And Spooks, how is he going to do on the Graves?
Yeah, and I mean, Swiper picking up the Fiora. We saw it in the last best of 3 with Ryu, looking to split push, control the lane, and then utilize that control in the lane to then bring that to team fights and just get a positional advantage. You would have to say, though, being up against Malaz on this Jax, split pushing gets harder and harder and harder until eventually you can't, and then Malaz will win that, and then you have to group for team fights. So interesting itemization choices might be bought here for Swiper. Might stick with the Titanic change afterwards. There's a lot of things that he may have to do to address this Jax that'll start to get too strong for him.
Yeah, and we kind of heard that from the desk where top lane seems like a focal point for both these teams. The Chiefs definitely been playing more around Swiper with Cheese there in the mid lane instead of Swiffer. And Malaz, we heard about him. Maybe he can bring it out this game, but we're going to move into game 1 of our second best of 3 of tonight. Don't forget your hashtags, of course. You can use hashtag AVWin if you're cheering for a button, or hashtag CHFWin for the Chiefs. And of course, use the hashtag IMOPL if you're cheering for the one true team, Spawn's Beard.
The hashtag bring back the beard as well.
Let's get that in there. Why not? You guys have been so good with the beard entries. Keep them coming, and any other banter you want with the hashtag IMOPL. Don't feel like it, tweet it at LOL_Oceania. But please, use the hashtag bring back the beard. We're going to start things off with a bang. Double duckies in the river.
And a frog.
Wow.
All in. And most importantly, the ducks aren't on top of each other just yet. And this is where it gets weird. I just don't understand.
Duckception.
Like, you could just keep swimming. You'd be happy. But, like, just doesn't... Yeah, look.
Well, he's happy there, it seems like. And Avant and Chiefs are going to get themselves onto Summoner's Rift, which I'm sure they'll be happy to take to each other here for our first game. Both teams were going to bounce back from losses last week. Chiefs suffering their first loss in a while in an upset there from the Dials, and Avant, I have to say, a bit of a mild upset there for them as well. So teams will be looking to regain some form and some favor.
Yeah.
But it's going to start probably here. Shelby versus Spooks, the Graves and Elise matchup.
And most importantly, regain some composure as a team. The fact that they go immediately to the boot camp makes you question whether they are comfortable with their performance. I feel like they do have a lot to improve, and Spooks just showing that he can be aggressive is a very nice start. Of course, he will have to, honestly, find his own personal identity within this team. He said to me that he was not an exploitable jungler anymore. He did say that.
Well,
we'll see if it's true.
Yep, the best place to prove it is definitely on the Rift here, as we are going to have standard lanes by the look of things. And to be perfectly honest, I am very happy we have standard lanes. I think with the way the draft's worked out, with the players here, I think it's going to be really good stuff to watch.
Well, I mean, we're looking at a Corki Braum bottom lane, which is very much a kill lane, up against what is the kill lane in a Thresh Kalista. So that's going to be very volatile. I think there's a very high chance that things go on everywhere there.
Oh, 2 top lane carries as well could create some fun, as Malaz actually starting the blue buff, but looks like he'll just take the Sentinels.
Yeah,
just one of them actually. Pick up the gold, bit of XP, and then run towards the top side. Shelby is going to take the Gromp though, doesn't need too much help here on the Elise. And then probably going to go over to that blue buff there that had a bit of additional help from Malaz here. As mid lane, Cheese versus Rek. Cheese did swap to Ignite versus the cleanse there from Rek, but the one thing we love about watching Cheese, you never really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I feel like Ari just personifies Cheese in the perfect way. He doesn't really need to carry. Oh, Spooks.
This is good from Spooks here, but I don't know if he's going to make it over in time. He's going to, not quick draw, but he's going to look to invade. He's got red buff, but Shelby, I think, already backed out. He's going to get quick drawed on now. End of the line hits the little Sentinel, though. And Shelby, he's going to get forced back here. Spooks able to fire good shots as Destiny barely lives through the Thresh Kalista all in.
Yeah, the level 2 from this Raider Ejim combo. Overwhelming, as Spooks is not going to relent. Knows that Swiper is pushing in. This pressure.
Does good play from Spooks there as well. Does find the bounce off the wall there as Shelby is going to get forced out of his own jungle. Spooks now going to take the Wolf Spirit and smite away that camp. And we talked about it. Can Spooks play more aggressively? First 3 minutes say yes.
Yeah, all signs are definitely pointing to yes, as he doesn't just invade. He forcefully invades, takes the jungle that wasn't even deserving to him at that point in time, and just effective play from this Graves. We said the matchup isn't as bad as it seems for the Graves. In fact, it's good, and Spooks is proving why.
Yep, and he's going to even take the Rift Scuttler on the way out as well, so massive amount of counter jungling there. Just a CS lead between junglers right now. It'll be 9-2. Once Spooks clears that out, and now he's going to have his own jungle to do. As Malaz up on the top side, good riposte there from Swiper.
Yeah.
Vitals proc in there as well. Going to walk all the way around for another one. Lunges in for it. Swiper looking good early on in the matchup.
Yeah, absolutely out trading just there. And that's the interesting thing about this matchup is if you actually use your Counter-Strike and then dash, super easy for Swiper to predict it.
But See if Malaz can maybe adjust a little bit here in the matchup as bottom side Radio already with a CS lead. You can see Turkey and Destiny trying to keep up where they can, but this is what Radio and Egypt were known for since they started playing together. Just unbridled aggression, especially in this lane. And Egypt is threatening, doesn't even need to throw the spells. Radio there helping him out. We heard it from Carvin, this lane is real tough.
That's the scary thing. If the Thresh threatens a hook, Braum naturally as a champion wants to stand in front of his AD carry and then just gets the passive from the Callista coupled up with a Thresh auto attack with a Flay bonus. And just like that, you're out-traded.
Yep, that's the power of the lane here as we return. You can see Destiny zoned out 10 CS so far as Spooks now taking his own blue buff after invading Chelby's blue side. You can see that level 4 to level 3, Spooks still holding a nice lead here. Able to really power farm through the jungle here on Graves.
And as he should be doing, of course. Keeping Chelby down was the most important feature. Difficult for Chelby to look for ganks now, and if he does, then he'll fall even further behind in farm, as Spooks is not going to stop invading anytime soon.
Good charm there, Cheese. Good damage down. Thunderlords will proc. Nice shield from Rekt actually saves a bit of damage, but you can see Cheese. He's just playing so far up, and this is actually Spooks doing what he needs to when his lane is pushed like this. Get aggressive in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, and Spooks has always been very good at consolidating when his team is winning. The question's always going to be arisen of how does he do it when they're even and or behind, because if you have junglers on equal footing, it does become a mechanical battle. And I mean, at this stage, at level 2, they were all even anyway, and so he's showing that he does have what it takes to change it up.
Well, certainly like the changes we are seeing so far, but long road to go here for the Chiefs, who don't really have much of a lead so far, but are playing aggressively in their lanes. CS leads are starting to sprout in the different lanes. As Rekt is going to burn the ulti there. Looks like he wants to go back. Does miss the cannon. Unfortunate there. As Ejim once again zoning back down the bottom side. Destiny's having a real bad time, especially with Braum absent.
And the minions are pushing back towards the Chiefs. So if ever there was a time to be concerned if you were Destiny, it's right now. Every single time he last hits, it gets worse.
Great hook there from Ejim. Destiny going to eat so much damage here. Radio goes in. He almost gets the kill off it.
Ejim actually even being patient with that Flay. Make sure he gets an auto attack in beforehand. Tries to bait the Valkyrie. Destiny does his best to live in that situation that was 100% not favoring him. And I mean, honestly, this Chiefs bot lane is oppressive.
Yep, and that's what we've seen them time and time again. And Swiper still keeping Malaz down for now. Does have a CS lead, does Swiper, but Jax will scale as the game goes on. It's really bottom lane that's finding big advantages here. Rekt is holding mid lane. He actually has a small CS lead. And Spooks is still up in the jungle, but things looking to go from bad to worse potentially on bottom side. Raider is 20 CS up already.
And there's a very real chance that Raider, the primary damage dealer of the Chiefs, can consolidate with the rest of his team and really enable them to continue and do their jobs. On the flip side, Destiny, who is also the major damage dealer of his team, not having a good time could indicate a very poor start here, especially once we move towards the mid-game and Destiny's expected to perform.
Yep, you can see the sheen there for Corky, but Radius started with the recurve bow, a bit more of an aggressive trading choice, and actually just went back for boots and a longsword. So you can see how badly the Chiefs bottom lane want to keep hammering this lane. As Spooks does ward up the blue buff, will be spotted by Shelby as he gets 2 shots down to the pink wall, but Cheese is going to rotate in, make sure they can take it safely. Swiper Malaz at it again. The ulti actually popped there for Swiper, but Malaz going to hold his ground. He might be okay. Good riposte there. And Swiper does have some vitals to go to, but the challenge will wear off. Spooks is coming topside. Malaz will back away slowly.
Malaz will have his counter strike as well, though, so Spooks shouldn't be able to kill him. Yeah. That's pretty badass. Just walks away.
Yeah. Cool looking guy there from Malaz as Chelby is doing his blue. Yeah, Cheese here. Spooks here as well. Cheese, Spooks just straight up takes it. And Rekt is like, oh, no, I don't have a blue buff.
Rekt is like, Shelby's like, oh, I don't have a jungle. 10 CS the difference. At every single moment right now, you would have to imagine the Chiefs will start to pressure. They don't need to come to this bottom lane. Leave it as a 2v2. Let mid win. Let top win.
Well, they're going to get more beard spawn. That is hipster beard spawn there from Gathering, looking absolutely fabulous there. That.
I have a personal request then, Mr. Producer. Can you bring up the spawn one where he's eating noodles? Because that one was my favorite so far.
It was pretty good. That one's been around on the Twitter. We'll see if we can get that one up. But Cheese continuing to hammer the lane here. Is Rekt just going to hang back. It looks like Morello Nomicon is going to be the item of choice for Rekt here as well. Nice biting, actually. Damage down, ulti out. Cheese just eats the damage right in the face.
Yeah, Lux. We saw this in Game 2 of their last best-of-3 series when Trident had that Lux. It's so easy to do.
Yeah, speaking of easy, that's exactly what Raider and Ejim are making it look like so far. Hook lands again. And now going to fly in for it. Box is down. Ejim plays him in as well. The exhaust is down. The heels popped on the other side. But the lantern's there. Raider's going to ride in for it. Destiny going to try and get up. But Raider will chase him down for first blood. Turkey's here. That second blood goes to Spooks.
Even Spooks is here. And hello,
Shelby
Junglers.
going to make it third blood. Cheese gets a kill. Chiefs, bottom of the rift, picking up 3 different kills.
An absolute explosion everywhere on the map, essentially, except that top lane as Cheese, he uses the ult. And then he flashes the cocoon, ignites and autos at the same time to secure that one. Shelby's been kept down, and Spooks is exploding.
That's the Cheese moment there. Flashing over the cocoon, but this hook.
And also the flay, you have to watch. He puts the box down, flays him back, and exhausts him to make sure he stays, gives the lantern, and even walks forward to like stutter step, and then they just know Blind Turkey's got nothing up. Just that simple. And this is just the over-aggression. Cheese tried to flash to make sure the back return of the Q connected. Evidently doesn't need to make sure that happens, as I am at a complete disagreement with Shelby's build right now.
Yep, going for that Runic Echoes once again. Swiper in trouble topside. Riposte is there. Lunges out of the way. The Q from Blind Turkey, but actually has to flash out. Cocoon lands, but no follow-up. Malaz a little too low. Minion Wave not there to help.
And I feel like they can't dive because Shelby can't tank. And I just, like, he is really behind, and that is strong play from the Chiefs to establish that deficit on this Elise. But his immediate response is to still be a Runic Echoes Elise. And that just goes to show the mindset of Shelby, essentially. He knows that he needs to carry for this team. And he feels like the onus is entirely on him.
Yep, and that's the question I think we feel like we keep asking. As the Rift Herald does go to Avant, Shelby will get it. So a nice little pick up there as there's Noodle Spawn.
Thank you.
From Zach.
How glorious
that is
that?
amazing.
Spawn eating noodles. And it's not even his hand. It's so good.
With a beard cup.
With a beard cup, yes. I didn't actually notice that at first. It's even better.
It's just wonderful.
Beard.
That is top tier beard shoppage.
S+.
S+ is Chiefs. Still up in top side. Raider and Ejim just going to move themselves around. Blade the Ruin King almost there. Hook does not connect, but Shelby knows he can't really stay here. You said it already. He's real squishy at this point.
Yeah, if that hook connects, he is 100% dead.
Raider's the same level as him too.
Yeah.
Hard times for Shelby right now.
It's not great. I mean, Spooks is the same level, to be fair. It's just that everyone across the map is actually keeping up quite high in experience. Cheese, the highest in the map at level 10. Once he hits 11, I mean, even with his Abyssal Scepter now, he can 1v1 the Lux.
And if we know Cheese, he'll be more than happy to, as Blind Turkey is going to pull the top wave. But it looks like just a back timing there for Radier. Does have the Blade of the Ruin King. Chiefs definitely know how to step it up when Radier gets going. He has gotten going this game. Ulti used there by Lux. Does clear out the wave. Shelby forced back with the Rift Herald buff. Does get back a little quicker, but Rekt, he's sitting back, hanging out. He is playing a more utility champion, but we talked about it. Who's the carry here for Avant? And right now it seems like Malaz Destiny, but Shelby is still in the mindset of feels like I have to carry as well.
Yeah, he absolutely is. A lot of damage sources across the board here for Avant. So not entirely sold that they needed to have another damage source in that jungle. Cinderhulk, get a tank in there, especially when you have a Jax in the top lane opposed to the Tahm Kench that we're used to seeing from Avant. Honestly, I liked their team composition, but now they're just not executing on it effectively.
Well, Chiefs are up 3-0, up about 3,000 gold actually already. And Cheese is even just taking away the enemy jungle as the blue buff. So plenty of mana to work with. And Ejim, Spooks, and Radier once again messing up a different side of the map. It feels like we saw this in bottom side. Spooks was down there, they were causing trouble, now going to do the same on this blue side.
I feel like the insult to injury is taking away the Raptors as well as the blue buff, just in case he wanted to go and concede this buff and go to another camp. Having to bring a lot of attention from Avant now. Raider as he goes back to it. This could still...
Good smite from Shelby. Spooks not able to steal it that time.
Also means the Rack doesn't get it, so... Once again, being able to force the smite, giving it to Shelby. If Shelby doesn't impact the map with that blue and stays confined to this top lane, still still a big win.
Yeah, still an effective steal there as Destiny getting good damage down. Blind Turkey going to go in for it. Ulti's there. Will take Raider. He just put the box up. Face call to get him out of the way. Lantern tag team to try and move him out. Raider covers the distance and the TP's in for Swiper. Jumps in onto Blind Turkey. Uses the ulti and gets exhausted, but he will save his bottom lane.
Yeah, Raider only barely making it out as that Fate's Call kind of set him up to get stunned. Bit of a misplay, but also effective work because the Lantern is what saves him in the end. And now the Cavalry's here. Spooks with all of the wave clearance damage in the world and a lot of farm to boot. They're able to siege this top lane turret still.
And it looks like this will go down on the go round. Chiefs able to format it now. So Swiper's teleport, not wasted there. Defends the rest of his team and is able to take another turret for the Chiefs as Rekt is just stranded, it almost feels like. Look at Cheese. I mean, he does this every game, but he just doesn't care. He's playing so aggressive.
He doesn't really need to care. They're keeping tabs on Shelby the entire time. He knows that it's a 1v1. He has an Abyssal Scepter. So he's just going to sit here and auto-attack every single wave until they go down. It's inevitable that the rest of the Chiefs will start to rotate and group around this wave. And if the turret's going to fall, they could threaten the dive and force Rekt back.
Yeah, it seems like Cheese almost takes that turret naturally as Spooks just does a bit of cleaning up there in top lane. Titanic Hydra has been finished up for Swiper as well. And Rico Boat in there for Kalista. Radiant going to be hitting that Rune and Hurricane Spike real soon. And Kalista's 2 items are just something wonderful. Destiny, Trinity Force almost there, so he'll have that 1 item spike for himself as well, but it's always risky to get Radiant going because he does work with the gold that he gets.
Yeah. Honestly, all of Avant at the moment is still just looking to scale. Get to the late game as fast as they can and hope that the lead's not too far ahead. It's not an easy thing to do against the Chiefs, who are quite effective at closing out. But really, if they've got the team comp to do it, Rekt's already got level 11. He's got his items, and he has been farming.
Already, this goes in. Uses the Blade of the Ruin King. A little aggressive there, but Ejim helps him out there as they are going to take the Rift Scuttler, it feels like. Looks like Rift Herald's going to be on the menu right after. So effective jungle play here from the Chiefs, and Kalista's other strength. Apparently jungling. Yeah. Got him.
So that was entirely Ejim saying you're not hitting it in the eye, which is why he turned it around. So they do get that.
Swiper gets the buff as well. That's 2 Rift Heralds, I believe, for the Chiefs. So usually rare to see 1, so impressive to see them on top of that objective. And Dragon on the menu up next. Why not, really? Once again, Kalista nice and strong. Chiefs confident in a fight if it were to break out. And more than enough power here to take out these neutral objectives.
It's just absolute control across the map at the moment. Do they need to get the Dragon? Not really. It's only the second one. If they can bring Avant over and try and look for a team fight, you might even wager that would be the better option.
Also buying time for Swiper as well, who doesn't have his TP hanging out in the top lane. Malaz does have his, but Swiper wants to get work done with the Rift Tower buff, and Malaz is not using his teleport, so Swiper actually going to get good damage done. Radio went bottom lane to pick up a bit of extra CS, and the Chiefs move back to mid, clear the wave out. Avant going to back away once again towards their turret.
And that was still a good rotation from Avant to bring them back to the middle lane. Again, the Dragon, not a massive thing that needs to be contested. Unless you really want to look for a fight yourselves.
I think Chiefs heard that charm hit just a little late. But Chiefs are going to start the Dragon up now. Malaz can join. Swiper's TP's still not up. If Avant want to fight, they can. Ulti's out there. Lux does steal it away.
And again, why bother? Why actually go for Dragon when you don't get anything from it? There's no gold to be gained. And you give them the option of the Lux steal, which was taken away. I think he was relying on the Rend, but there wasn't enough stacks in it just yet.
Yeah, a little miscalculation there. So Radio not able to take it. Instead, we'll just continue pushing down this bottom side. Will be very powerful very soon. Phage actually up a Swiper as well, so Fiora's items also starting to come together. But a bit sloppy there from the Chiefs on the Dragon attempt. But it looks like Kalista's going to stay here and hustle down some mending waves. Laser used, that's going to clear the wave out. Cheese actually hits the back end of it as well. But Avant sort of forced to sit mid and protect his turret.
But I feel like they don't even need to have all of their carries to sit mid to protect this at the moment. Just bring the Braum, keep the Lux around, and maybe Shelby on this Elise. And as a 3-man unit, you should be able to defend it. I think the biggest feature is if they actually get this buff onto the Lux. There should be no way now for the Chiefs to get this mid lane turret and to actually break this middle lane.
So a reprieve now from the potential siege of the Chiefs. It seems like Fiora and Jack's going to go back to empty lane duties. Spooks is on this side as well with Swiper, but seems like Swiper's more than happy 1v1 at this point. And Radiant now with the Hurricane actually going to go bottom, clean that up. So the Chiefs, we've seen them build a nice lead here. They're still 4,000 gold up. We talked about their efficient closing. We'll see what they can get done here as Malaz posturing nice and far forward there, but it's a bluff for now. Shelby on the way in support though.
Yeah, definitely a bluff, but that shows the confidence Malaz does have, especially in this 1v1.
Well, speaking of, Shelby back in the 1v1 he didn't like earlier in the game, doesn't really like it much more now. He's building in towards the Rylo, so it was a bit tankier, but again, more of that carry build there from Shelby again, rather than maybe the tankier Cinderhulk.
Yeah. I think the best thing that the Chiefs have just put into effect is actually going to that bottom lane.
Ooh, well, that's going in, but Wet Noodles continuing to be used there. She's still working on this, but wrecked. More than enough power there. Shelby, though, going to eat a charm. Spooks move in for the ulti. Cheese dives in for it. Not quite enough. The Ignite is burning down, and it is.
I feel like Rex should have probably just flashed on the other side of Shelby to make sure the second half of the shield connected. Over-aggression, the charm connects, and Graves has a lot of burst with Ari. Simple execution for the Chiefs as now they rotate bottom.
Yeah, they're going to look to take this turret now as well. Swiper still occupying Malaz's time. Nice riposte. Grand challenge. YouTube Swiper looking for the 1v1. One more vital there. Does land it, but the tower dealing too much damage, and Swiper's forced to flash out.
Swiper overstaying his welcome, but not by a lot, as Malaz hides on the wall, doesn't let that fourth vital proc and get the Fiora passive out, and avoids a lot of true damage that could have been on top of him. And as such, avoids that death, so good play from Malaz to ensure he stays alive. Doesn't let a 1v1 happen.
Avant also keep their bottom tier 2 alive. Looks like Cheese and Spooks once again will team up here. Time goes out, Cocoon's landed in. Binding's good as well. Lux ulti goes through. Cheese is going to fall down. But the repel's been used. The rest of the Chiefs are here. Shelby going to get taken out. Radiant does so much damage. It's a light binding though. Damage is there. Can't get out of it. Lux gets another kill as Avant's starting to strike back.
And it's just like that. They give mid lane a complete farm off, and Lux gets an item and a half. All it takes is one light binding. We've seen it already today. It's dangerous.
Certainly is. A Swiper posturing very far forward. Malaz, though, use the counter-strike, will zone them off, and Avant will take the mid lane turret for themselves. It's only one, 3-1 up still in turrets for the Chiefs, but it is the most important one, and Rekt essentially gets himself much-needed kills.
Yeah, the farm bot in Lux right now actually starts getting online with all of these kills. The damage is well and truly going to be there from here on out, as if it wasn't already. And even the Abyssal Scepter completed for Cheese was not enough to keep him alive through all of that burst. And that's a death cap.
Yeah, I like this from Rekt. Very aggressive build. We talk about him being an assassin player. Not an assassin champion, but the mentality is still there. I want to do the most damage possible right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what his team needs as well. If you can clear the back wave.
Spooks and Shelby have a battle. Ward battles once again, but too many wards there for poor Graves to try and take out. So Spooks will back away from the jungle confrontation, but they certainly have been going at it. Spooks won the early engaters. Shelby, though, starting to get a little tankier.
Yeah, starting to bring it back, working towards that Ryla's Crystal Scepter. And across the board, just a lot of damage available now for Avant. I feel like they're starting to ramp up now in their own strength and scaling, the Jax in particular. Malaz, once he gets that Sterix gauge, not sure if Fiora can kill him anymore.
Well, you did mention that the Jax will only get better the later the game goes. Swiper right now seems to be comfy, but there's a lot of wave clearing happening between these two. Swiper again going to move in for it. Sees the counter-strike is down. Good positioning from Malaz to protect that vital.
Still a winning trade for him as well.
And that's a scary thing. The more trades Malaz starts to win, the harder it's going to be for Swiper to keep the Jax down.
Even on a confidence level, you lose 2 or 3 1v1s in a row. Even if you don't die, you start to feel like you're just completely incapable of doing those 1v1s again. And it's at that point you're predictably going to start grouping or just hiding.
Well, the Chiefs are still sticking to the split pushing right now. Radiant QSS completed. Haven't really been able to group for many objectives. Dragon, of course, did get taken away from them, so neutralized there. And right now it's just 3 lanes pushing for the Chiefs. They are gaining some ground, but it feels like they're not accelerating the lead that they had otherwise.
Yeah. Running the Ahri as well, they're looking for a bit more pick. They're really struggling to get this Ahri out of lane and find it. Spooks on this Graves jungle isn't going to be able to do exactly that. And that's something that Shelby can do. And it's one of the reasons why Elise is always going to be good in these games. You can still throw out a Cocoon, you're guaranteed to connect with the target, and you're always going to be able to put damage down onto that target, especially if you have a Lux to follow it up. Whereas the Graves is one of these raw damage champions that you look at and you think it does come down a lot to the execution and your personal positioning as well. You can't just throw yourself in and hit a Cocoon.
Yeah, certainly not. As Rekt is going to get himself another blue buff. Things are looking up for the Avant mid laner. As Chiefs still hammering this bottom side, but they're going to pull Cheese down as well, sorry. Did pick up Dragon 2 for themselves as well, so 3rd Dragon of the game leaves Chiefs 2-1 up in that particular objective. And the Chiefs looks like they are going to be able to get this. It's going to be close, but they will take it. Oh, Spooks just gets the last auto in.
Yeah, they take down that turret with Swiper still in the top lane. So what was potentially going to be a 4v5 if they didn't get it that quickly. You can see how close they were to Blind Turkey blocking the turret from going down. But good movements here from Chiefs across the board. Even if they don't have the vision in place, they're playing with confidence and knowledge of where the opposition is.
Yep, and they've just completed some pretty big shops there as well. Luden's completed there for Cheese. We've got 2 aggressive items now for Swiper, who swapped his Hydra over to the lifesteal one and got himself some cooldown boots. And more of Malmortius done for Spooks. With Radiant going for the double lifesteal, it feels like, with that extra Vampiric Scepter. Seen this a lot from Kalista. Blade of the Ruined King, Runan's Bloodthirster. Just stay alive.
Absolutely. The triple lifesteal as well. Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, with Scimitar.
Mercurial's build, if that was the plan of attack, of course, has the QSS, so may just want to be more slot efficient with the items, which is why you would probably go for that over the BT. Well, also doesn't need any armor penetration against the opposition team comp.
Not right now.
Well, I don't think he ever will.
Malaz does have Sterix, so a little bit tankier, but still definitely more of a damage dealer. And again, Malaz, you can see, actually has a slight level lead now. 15 to 14. I don't think Swiper's as confident being able to win those 1v1s, but it is super volatile between Jax and Fiora. It's been such a long time, but feels like the league's 2 duelists finally get to go at it.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to see this later as the game goes. It does feel like Malaz wants this a lot more than Swiper, who's kind of hiding back here and there. But then you never really know if it's confidence in the 1v1 or if it's lack of knowledge of where the enemy is.
Oh, great Vital Proc there from Swiper. Now going to move in for the ulti. Riposte is down, but the Counter-Strike does actually proc in. Swiper, though, still chasing down. He gets the crucial one on the backside, but they wear off before he can finish it. He is going to keep running in. Looks like the 1v1 may just be there. Swiper flashes in and does get it.
Swiper actually flashing at the same time as Malaz. Secures the 1v1. Even after getting stunned and not proccing many of the vitals from the ultimate. Fiora coming up trumps.
Yeah, you can see at least right now as Cheese actually uses his ultimate, I think, trying to find a pick there. Oh, ulti out there from Rekt. Blind Turkey, though, ate a charm.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure why Cheese ulted where he did. Because he just used 3 stacks to come through the jungle to the top lane.
Well, meanwhile in bottom lane, Swiper working on that bottom inhibitor turret. Does do a good chunk of damage to it, but Rekt going to stop that. And the Chiefs, I think, have to be a bit careful here in the siege. Malaz still dead for 6 seconds, but he'll be back in 5 and does have teleport. Chiefs, though, going to go in for it. Cheese! Massive binding on the other side. Shelby flashes out. Blind Turkey, though, just gets trapped. And the TPs are going to get used. Ejim is going to see Malaz. He gets exhausted. Swiper is coming there as well. But the ulti hits on the Cheese, and Radiant almost gets the double carry pickup. And Destiny now firing rockets into the front of the team. Cheese is in trouble. Rekt
that was
barely
so close.
procs that E. Malaz, though, still leaping forward. He gets hooked up. The Cheese going to kite it back here, but Malaz is so strong as Fate's Call is going to force him away. Cheese, though, just eating damage as he runs back, and the Chiefs, they have just no health left. Malaz still looking for it. He's leaping as much as he can, but the tower's still there, and the Chiefs, I can't believe they got away with that.
The Chiefs with every single member on low and blinking health bars, they do walk away. Avant undone. but they aren't going to be able to get a kill at the very least. They're working towards the turret.
Destiny and Shelby a little low on the health, but Malaz plenty healthy. Let's watch this again.
This was just a wild goose chase. Honestly, it was a thresh hook to start it all off after a charm from the Ari. And then Malaz comes in. I questioned why he was even finishing that teleport, but the home guards walk him at a super fast pace to safety. And after the Lux combo, the flash just not connecting with that E. And it's just the wild goose chase that ensues from here. Not being able to find a pick. Avant skirting around with low mana or low health respectively. Or just being wrecked and not having your ultimate available.
Yeah, used it already. Almost got 2 carries in one ulti. That would have been some supreme value with Spooks. It's a binding ulti combo. Sterex Proxy actually lives. Ejim pops the locket.
Only barely living there. Ejim with the locket as well. Almost keeping it alive through that spiderling extra damage that you never expect to see. Spooks needs to show some respect.
Oh, that was more, sorry, that proc, not Sterox, but...
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
Basically the same.
Yeah. He didn't double in size. I was like, is that really?
Well, does its job. Protects him from magic damage.
Shelby's
Shelby
down.
hits a hook. Radier in there. That was very fast.
And that's the difference between both of these junglers. Graves, QSS, and more available to him. Has magic resistance everywhere. And is getting comboed by an Elise and Lux, who only do magic damage. Whereas on the flip side, Shelby, he's got damage. And a Negatron cloak now.
And he's moving into Abyssal.
Yeah.
There's a blasting one. Very aggressive build from Shelby. Blind Turkey hooked again. Damage in there. Cheese is going to find the charm. Blind Turkey's ulti does connect, but Cheese able to take out the support one more time.
This is such a basically back and forth game where you feel like the Chiefs have just had complete control at every single corner. The thing is, they're finding it really hard to push that extra step towards getting these turrets, but finally, and twice in a row, they take down Blind Turkey out of position with a Thresh Hook or an Ari Charm, and just like that, they actually start to open up the map.
And I think the change has been how well they move through the map. As Malaz and Swiper once again look to go at it, but they've definitely been able to find more picks. The Chiefs have sharpened that aspect up a bit, and eventually they're able to take the turrets they wanted to. Now sitting 5-2 up in turrets with Radier. Going to be able to take out this dragon. There are a whole lot of spears in that beast. Radier going to rend it apart.
I feel like even Malaz's build at the moment has been catered entirely to 1v1ing. He's got a QSS to deny the Fiora ultimate. We'll see if Swiper's very much aware of that.
Well, you can see from Mount Loltai's. Now we know why Renegade's Havoc came home. He knew Spawn Lol needed him.
Well, Altais, you're causing some havoc right now.
That is uniquely Australian and wonderful.
Yeah. It doesn't get more, does it? More Aussie than that.
Well, good to see support out from Altais.
Also one of the best competitive beards in any esport.
Oh, it is a super competitive beard. We thought Spawn might get there, but seems like you have to bring the beard back.
Maybe he saw that Havoc was coming back. And
maybe he's like, yeah, no.
I can't compete.
Can't compete with this. Well, Chiefs looking to group around the Baron objective now. Do have good control over the area, but some shallow water from Avant will at least see the path down towards the top side. Radier, though, Bloodthirst now on the way. So it is the triple lifesteal, like you mentioned. Has the Mercurial Scimitar already done? The Chiefs go straight onto the Baron.
They didn't know the ward just above the Baron area saw them walking towards it.
Blind Turkey again, they're going to get caught. The Charm eats in the hooks there as well, and Radier on a killing spree.
Yeah. Raidier's massive, and third time, unfortunately, is not the charm for Avant, as...
Malaz, why'd you QSS that off?
Not sure.
Does get the counter-strike in, but Swiper's not done. He's going to keep chasing in. I feel like that was almost a misclick from Malaz.
Yeah. Kind of prompted the ultimate out of Swiper as well, who then pushes him back. Malaz should probably change to the Ravenous Hydra from the Titanic. I feel like unless he doesn't want to actually deal with Swiper anymore. Jeez, here we go again.
Well, Swiper's still causing trouble. That ward, though, still very pesky. Ejim gonna eat the brunt of that Lux ulti.
Shelby, what are you doing, man?
Taking Baron and clearing wards. There we go. Baron's all chill now. Shelby's gonna clear out some vision. Cheese wants it! Great flash there from Shelby, but he flashes in the spook. Back on the Cheese, and Cheese takes him out.
Shelby frantically tried as hard as he possibly could to make something of that. But that was just the cheese special again. You never expect it from this guy. He just does it, and it works, and you just kind of go with it. And that was what that was.
Definitely doesn't hesitate. There's cheese. Efficient as always. A nice flash from Shelby. Unfortunately, nowhere good to go after that.
No.
And again, Shelby's squishy build just costing him in these spots.
Absolutely right. I don't think there was many ways for him to get out in that particular instance, though. The flash direction was the big question mark to me. He just had to flash in a direction to dodge the charm, and just happened to be towards Spooks. So the immediate reaction was, oh god, repel.
Yep, and then repel back on the cheese. Try and get the kill. Cheese were able to collect it. Now 4-1-2 on the RE. Void stuff done. Here's a huge amount, massive items actually. The Chiefs have built themselves up a very healthy gold lead, almost 10k up in this game. And again, the pace maybe a little slower than we're used to from the Chiefs as far as closeout goes, but they're doing what they need to do. They're going to go back to Baron Avant. Once again, do you have the answers?
And they are doing it in a controlled manner.
This ward?
Yeah, it's honestly...
The hero.
It's got their number. They have no answer to that ward. They just don't know it's there. And it keeps getting them every single time. Chiefs probably just wondering what the hell is going on with that, honestly. Every time we start it, they walk over.
It's almost like they have vision. This Shelby, a little too close there, but Spooks and Cheese gonna work on this turret. Damage is good. Recto with the wave clear. Good charm once again. Blind Turkey gonna weed it. Cheese, of course, goes for it and just takes him off the rift.
It's just starting to feel like deja vu every single time they find... Oh, that was close.
Shelby goes in on that. Ejim looks for the hook. Good repel there from Shelby. He goes back in onto Ejim. Dodges a play, and Ejim's like, help me! Lantern out there, but the rest of them aren't chasing him. There's Callista. Gonna make sure he's okay. Now Shelby's gonna get it turned around. He's dead. Ejim flashes forward, looks for the flail to wreck, but doesn't get it.
It's just perplexing. Avant, that was hyper aggression from a 0-6 Elise. It's not gonna get you anywhere.
And Shelby has only a cloth armor to dissuade Radia's damage, and that is not nearly enough at this stage.
No, and now the Chiefs, knowing there's no Shelby, suddenly start to get a lot more aggressive.
Oh, Cheese, nice charm. On a rampage now as Destiny goes down, and the Chiefs leap forward into action. Double knock up there onto My Turkey Malaz. Swiper comes in with a repose just for a bit of a slow. Fiora ulti procs a double kill in for Radia. They take out the turret and wrecked. Just left to wonder what he can do in this spot. Unfortunately for him, I think the answer's not too much. The Chiefs break bottom inhib. Gonna look to mid now as well.
And the base now completely wide open for the Chiefs to do as they would please. Whether it's look to even end the game.
I can tell you right now, Raider is not afraid of Shelby. Dodges a cocoon, gonna look for maybe the 1v2 here. Shelby into the fountain, will live there as Raider does bot back into a binding. But the Chiefs are gonna try and take this out. First Nexus turret down. Game not over just yet, it looks like. Chiefs gonna back out.
Yeah, they do have to back off and show some respect to Rekt, who all credit due is 2-0-1 right now. Still a big Lux. You can't over-aggress, or they would have potentially died and lost the Baron from there on. The last thing you want to do from this game so far that's been super controlled by the Chiefs is to give them any way back in. And honestly, yeah, it's a slower game from the Chiefs, maybe slower than what we are used to seeing. But this is still very effective and efficient work from all of them across the board.
Yeah, it's looking good, and it just feels like Avant, again, we talk about it, feels like they don't really have players on the right spots, maybe with the right builds or the right champions, but it's just, they've got good players. We heard it from the deaths. They just haven't put them all together yet. Malaz getting bigger. He's actually working on a Rage Blade next, so he is full damage as Ejim barely misses a cocoon to the face. He's going to land the charm. Shelby again in trouble. And Radier going to join in the fight. Repels used. Cheese looking to flank. Shelby's just dead at this point. Radier goes godlike as he takes him out. TP and Malaz going to try and play cleanup. Challenge though, so Lux ulti's out. Damage is good. Ejim goes down the Blind Turkey with the cheese. Too far ahead. Radier got himself a triple already. Destiny's going to be the Quadra and wrecked the last one for the first OPL Penta of the season. Not today, Radier.
Not going to happen as he does pick up 4 kills. Raider going off in this game and setting up the Chiefs for success so well. Rex playing the best loss of his life is not going to be enough to keep Avant in this game. Tilby and Blind Turkey, time and again, keep putting themselves in these positions to get picked. And it all comes down to the vision that the Chiefs have put into effect.
Yep, that patented vision game there for the Chiefs. Looking good. They will claim the Baron. Maybe didn't need it, but they might as well take it just in case. Squad out as the Baron Up recalls will send them straight back home. And a last charge of the inventories as the final items will go in and the Chiefs will charge down and try and end the game.
This is probably going to be one of the last pushes as we do get to see this again. And just keep your eyes, honestly, on Raider. The way he plays around this. They go straight back to Malaz. They know he's going to go down sooner or later, even with all of the Lux bursts coming in. And has the QSS, flashes onto Destiny. That's so aggressive. But gets blinded.
Yep. He definitely could sense the pent of it.
Yeah, he got Pentavision.
Not that time. Oh, Fate's call into Shelby again, who's just going to get picked off. He's dead in the air. Radier takes him out.
It just feels like deja vu every single time. Shelby, not sure what he's doing every single time we see him.
Blind Turkey, big ulti packaged in as well from Destiny, but last ditch effort play there. Might actually get them something. Cheese up to the backside is going to take out the Corky. Challenge issue there onto Malas, I think, as Ejin will fall in amongst the mess, but Fiora ulti procs. Radier is legendary as the Chiefs once again leave everyone but Wrecked dead.
I like it from Avant. They do have some flair. They're being aggressive when they know the game does not look good for them. Avant go down. Chiefs still reign supreme in this best of 3.
It was strong control there. Blind Turkey having a bit of fun at the end, or maybe not, I guess. 6 tiers in the inventory. Did manage to finish a final shot there, but rough for Avant for the end. They had, some decent points in the early stages, but the Chiefs just playing the lanes well, doing exactly what we expect of them.
Yeah, absolutely. That entire game was won through laning phase from the Chiefs. They just played so strong, and credit to Spooks in particular, by keeping Shelby down.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the rest of the analyst test thinks of that performance, because we are going to go for a bit of post-game.
Thank you so much, guys. It was a commanding victory in the end by the Chiefs, but want to take it back to the pick ban phase because Avant really showed in that game that, they're willing to step up, willing to pick these carries. We said that there are 4 people on the team that we think can potentially carry. They just locked in 4 carry champions.
I mean, that's what we've been asking them to do, right? Put Malaz on the carry, play more utility mid, and that's what they did. And I think, they lost against Infernum in their last series. And this game they took it, was a significant gold lead, but 40-odd minute game against the Chiefs, much better performance by him.
Yeah, I was actually quite impressed. I mean, I feel like maybe Malaz didn't quite build effectively. We saw the fact that Swiper was able to win that 1v1 in the end, picked up the Ravenous Hydra, switched it over just a little bit earlier, had that lifesteal and was able to take that victory. But all the credit to him. I mean, Malaz was definitely able to go toe-to-toe with Swiper that game for the majority.
I want to talk a little bit about builds there, and I think you've touched on it. First thing is, I think Shelby's build. He went full AP. He got punished a lot for it. Maybe next game consider going Distortion Boots so you can flash out a bit earlier. And then...
I just love how subtle it was. I was waiting for him because he just dead-eyes Atlas. He's like, flash out earlier. I'll leave it there with you, Atlas.
Oh, God.
And then, obviously the Jax build was a big one. He went Titanic Hydra into Sterax. He did play the matchup pretty well, but I would have loved to have seen some lifesteal in there earlier. Maybe he could have won a duel.
Yeah, certainly would have loved to have seen that as well. But good signs from the Avant lineup. I want to cast your mind back to about 27 minutes into the game. Chiefs had just been chased off the Tier 2 turret in top lane, and AV chased them the whole way there, stopped their backs. I actually think there was a chance for them to turn the game around. They had a Jax, they had the Elise, as well as the Lux, and didn't pull the trigger on your Baron. Just want to get your thoughts on a young team with their shot calling. Looked like maybe that would have been a decisive play that they could have made.
100%. I mean, you just chase the entire team out. They're all about 3 bars. There's no way they can contest a Baron. You have Jax, you have Elise, you have Lux. You are not going to take damage from the Baron either. I mean... For me, it was a pretty clear call. Just move there. If they stay, they die. If they base, you get a free Baron.
Yeah, either way, you're looking for the team to fight you and come back at you. That would have been one way to achieve that. Now looking over the other side of the wrist, want to take a look at the Chiefs. They did get up early. Some good counter jungling out of Spooks. This is someone we asked to step up on the Graves, looking much more aggressive.
I mean, can I see a Frank-a-Z for these cheeser dogs? He goes from red straight to blue. Bot lane picks Kalista Thresh. I mean, they were all about that early game, but credit to them, pulled it off.
Yeah, well, this is something that they've done before as well. I mean, against the Direwolves in game number 1, they pick that Shen, they get him in the top lane over and over again. Sharp can't do anything. They win the game. It's another tactic that they've utilized. Just plan out the early game, understand exactly what you're going to do, and then capitalize on it.
But the capitalization took some time. I know we were sitting in the room and we're thinking, like, they've turned Cheese kind of into a Swiffer hybrid. He's making pick play League of Legends. Like, they're doing all the right thing. But the draft that they picked, they had a split pusher and no tank in the main unit. Couldn't take that Baron and kind of looked like their shot calling was maybe a little rockier than we've seen out of the Chiefs in the past.
Yeah, one of the big issues with Graves is that he does struggle to do Baron. So you can get a huge lead, but if you have a Fiora, if you have a Graves, it can be very difficult to take that Baron and really force the point there.
Yeah, I want to actually point out as well that if they maybe have had like more of a team fighting top laner, then they wouldn't have had any problem there. But Swiper just wanted to sit in a solo lane.
Yeah, it certainly did. And one thing that we have seen that combats that is picking up something like a rapid fire cannon. It's a luxury item, but does allow you to at least siege on the Graves this time. Chiefs didn't go for it. You know, in the end, they end up picking up a win, but it wasn't as decisive as I'm sure they would have hoped. So stick around, guys. Game 2 is going to come around the corner, and I feel like Avant may even hit back. Stick around for it.